for you. The perfect way, you no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glam's Anjulie. What's going on, Anjulie?
Hello, hello. Another Monday, another recap.
I feel like it's been so long, but we did Money in the Bank, and there was a bigger gap between Money in the Bank and whatever I guess is WrestleMania, right? I felt there was a longer gap there, but I feel like it felt longer between pay-per-views, like between aftermats, I guess, between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. I don't know. That was just me.
But I think if I remember correctly, Money in Bank was more in the beginning of the month, and this was more at the end of the month. So it like felt like almost 2 months. But it's just been a little over a month, I guess.
I know, and then I guess the next one's the beginning of the month too, but we'll get to that later. Today we're going to talk about one of the big four pay-per-views of WWE, SummerSlam. It's kind of like, I guess, some people think it's second tier to WrestleMania, like the second on the rank list, but other people will claim it's Royal Rumble. But I always feel like Royal Rumble's like the road to WrestleMania, so it's kind of like that like little entryway to get into WrestleMania. But like SummerSlam usually has a bigger match card because the Royal Rumble is usually the main part of the pay per view when it comes to the actual pay per view itself. So, but yeah, what do you think of the overall card? Like looking at the card, how do you feel about going into the card and all that?
Yeah, going to the card, I figured we had a stacked card because a lot of the matches there were, big names. I guess that's what you want to do and put your heavy hitters on the big pay-per-view. And I do think that for the most part, with the exception of a few that probably could have gone here instead of some other matches instead, which I'll probably mention later. I think overall they pretty much did what it needed to do with all these matches.
Yeah, I mean, usually I know the last two pay per views we had, I've been like, I don't really care for many of the matches. That pick whatever you want, and then I'll take whatever's left over when you divvy up the card. But this time around, I actually was interested in. Obviously, I do like Brock Lesnar a lot, and I do like Ricochet. And Logan Paul's been entertaining. As much as I don't like him as a streamer or whatever, not that I watch his stuff. He's I've always said for the WWE he's been doing very well, very athletic, kind of thing. So he's good for the WWE. But I do enjoy watching Ricochet, and I wish they'd give him more of a push. But we really don't see that much. But we'll talk about that when it comes to the match. And there's some quite interesting moments too, and there's also rumors of someone returning. Other people were also at the arena that people thought they would be coming out, but did we get them? Did we not? We'll talk about it a little bit. Kick it off with the match that started off the evening: Logan Paul and Ricochet. The reason why they did this match first, not only to like get the crowd all hyped and everything, is because also the same night Logan Paul's brother Jake Paul was fighting a boxing match against Nate Diaz. So he wanted to get there in time to watch that match. So basically, after the match, he said he'd get on a private jet from Detroit, fly down to Dallas, and watch it. Hopefully, being there in time for his brother's match, which he was. He was there about like maybe an hour before Jake actually walked out to the ring, so he did make it in time. But who cares about boxing, because this is about wrestling. So this match started out pretty much as you expected. Two athletic guys kind of grappling in the ring at first, exchanging like quick moves, kind of like much like you saw back in the Luchador days. Not as good as what you saw in the Luchador days, but it was pretty much like that. The first big real pop kind of came out when mini pop, I should say, is when Logan Paul got out of the ring. Ricochet ran out the rope, and it looked like he was gonna jump out, but he just patented like double handspring, whatever you call that, backflip into like the superhero pose, and that then Logan Paul like kind of got started like he was gonna take a suicide dive to him, but he didn't do that. It was like a trick. But eventually they got back into the ring and fought a little bit, and then the first real big pop was when they got onto the apron again, and they thought the fans thought we are gonna see what we saw at what was it, Money in the Bank, I think it was, where they did the Spanish fly off the rope, but it was supposed to be off the top rope in Money in the Bank, but there was a little botch there. Once again, there was a little botch here where they jumped off the ropes to the outside for a Spanish fly, and they're supposed to both land on their feet at the same time, but they kind of like stumbled and they came down to their one knee each, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been botched, but it was still botched nonetheless. And then they kind of like started punching each other. Then one punch, Ricochet hit Logan Paul, which backed him off a little bit. Then Logan Paul came charging at Ricochet. Ricochet actually then did a Spanish fly onto the a ground Spanish fly onto the outside, which was pretty cool. Eventually, I think Ricochet was like beaten down on the outside a little bit, which got Logan Paul some time to get to the inside, and he did a springboard lariat to the outside, which was really cool. That seeing them doing the athletic springboards and stuff like that was awesome. Paul then kept coming in, doing some really cool stuff. I'm trying to think what was the next big spot was. I don't know if it was when I don't know which one came first, but I know there's one point where Ricochet rolled back into the ring. Logan Paul did a springboard frog splash, which is really cool. It was a far distance. Like Ricochet wasn't just in the middle of the ring. Ricochet was pretty much on the opposite side of the ring. So Logan Paul did a springboard frog splash, which looked beautiful. Hit that, did not get the pinfall. I think then eventually, I'm trying to think who went to the outside. Then Logan Paul went back to the top, did a moonsault. Ricochet caught it, but Logan Paul was able to reverse the reversal into a Hurricane DDT, which looked really cool. Ricochet had another cool spot where he did like the people's moonsault, I guess you want to call it, where he sets up for the people's elbow, and as he's about to do the elbow, he turns around and does a moonsault, standing moonsault. That was pretty cool as well. Eventually, Ricochet got Logan Paul down in the corner, and he went for his 630, but Logan Paul, I think, got his knees up or something. And once that happened, Logan Paul kind of rolled towards the turnbuckle, and his friend, I don't know who it was, but it was one of his goonies, like that with the YouTube channel with him, I guess, or a podcast with him, were there to give him a brass knuckles. He turned around and punched Ricochet in the face with the brass knuckles, pinned him 1, 2, 3, much to the chagrin of Samantha Irvin, who's Ricochet's fiance. She had to announce that Logan Paul was winner. You kind of see like a tear rolling down, which is pretty well done. And then Logan Paul stuffed the brass knuckles into his trunks and ran away, got the win. Pretty good match, back and forth. I kind of wanted to see a lot more like high flying action, but I think they tried to limit the time of the match because I think the match would have been probably longer had they had more time. I mean, like as in the case where like I know they cut one of the matches because of time, so I don't think they would want. I don't think the fact that Logan had to get to Jake's fight was probably better. That they didn't get more time. I mean, it was another reason why they didn't get more time, but the real reason was probably because they didn't have enough time because of what happened with the card and all the discrepancies and all that. But I think they could have done a lot of cool stuff. I'd probably rather see them like in a. I know when the Road Dogg Raj and his family were here, they were saying I'd rather see them two in like a ladder match. I think that would be like the next step in their fighting. If they ever do fight again, maybe if one of them has the belt, maybe if Ricochet ever wins like the Intercontinental again or U.S. Championship, and he has it, and Logan Paul comes back, they could be like, "Hey, I've beaten you already twice, or whatever it is. Let me fight you this time in like a ladder match for that title." And by this time, Ricochet will be put over. Hopefully, you never know, but hopefully Ricochet will be put over, and that would be really cool to see him in a ladder match again. Actually, I think that'll be like the pinnacle of those two people's career at this point when it comes to wrestling. Your thoughts, Alicia?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. It was pretty much what I thought it was gonna be, which was basically a spot fest of them just being as athletic as they could be, and they did that. So, and I knew Logan was gonna win because he hadn't won a singles match yet, and Ricochet is fine to take the pin off of where he is in his career at the moment, so it doesn't like hurt him. So yeah, I thought it was fine. I don't think they needed to go longer. I think this was just enough. So I feel like if it would have gone longer, we would have been like, okay, we get it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and yeah, I do think Samantha played it well, where you could tell like playing that she was upset, but still gonna be professional about it. So that was pretty cool. I love her though. She's
But
great.
I like to see them go again. And welcome to Jane and Entertain. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Um,
Hey y'all.
yeah, so yeah, it was a fun match. I'd love to see it again. The next match was kind of like this is the third match they had or second? I can't remember. Third, right? Third. They're 1-1. Yeah. So this was like pretty much the rubber match between the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, against the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Basically, I've been seeing that Brock Lesnar's been like kind of tormenting Cody throughout his like matches, coming out, beating him up. I think he even beat him up in front of his own mother. One Raw, I guess it was. But basically, this is like Cody's last chance to get at Brock. Um, and basically, they went at it, and it started out as much as you would expect it to. Like every other Brock match starts out, like Brock gets like hit a few times, and then he goes to like beast mode, not Bree mode, but beast mode, and he just does like a 14 million suplexes, belly to back suplexes. He did another kind of like a gut wrench suplex that was kind of like a botch, I think, but it looked like a real cool suplex that no one had a name for. Like I think Corey Graves and Michael Cole couldn't even name that move because it was just like a botch, but it looked like still looked like a cool suplex. Thank God he didn't hurt Cody, but Cody was kind of like in survival mode there. No matter what he took, he wanted to um, so he had to survive because he's been going downhill, right? Didn't he also lose to Dominic like on SmackDown or something like? I mean, it might have been a cheap loss because of Brock and Rhea. It cost him the match, but
I think he,
what?
I think he won that one.
Oh no, he won the pay per view, but I think he lost at a Raw or something. It was something where I think he did get like shown up by Dominic once, and then he beat Dominic at the pay per view. That's what it was. That's what I think. I think that's what happened. Not that I watched like the Raw and SmackDown, but I think that's what happened. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, basically, after Brock beat Cody down so badly, he threw him to the outside and says, "Just take the 10 count, stay down, because I'm going to like destroy you if you come back into the ring." And every time, like Cody would come back in, and then finally Brock got really pissed, got out back to the outside, gave Cody an F5 into the announce table, and said, "That's it, it's over." But Cody got back in, came back in. He hit like two disaster kicks, a Cody cutter, and then put the Kimura on Brock. Brock obviously is not going to tap his own move. The way he broke out is by like slamming Cody's back into the he basically brought his own weight down on top of Cody and slammed him against the ring mat, and Cody let go. Once Rose got away, I think Brock charged him, and there was already an exposed turnbuckle that I forgot to mention earlier. Cody sideswiped Brock, and Brock went into the exposed turnbuckle. Wait, no, wait. Yeah. Wait, no. First, sorry. What I forgot to say is first Brock put the Kimura in. Cody got out by I think grabbing the rope. That's when Cody got up to the turnbuckle and Brock charged him. Cody sideswipe. Brock fell into the exposed turnbuckle. That's when Cody put the Kimura lock on Brock, and that's when Brock slammed Cody against the mat to get out. Yeah, that's what happened. Once Brock got out, Cody was eventually able to get a hold of Brock and hit 3 crossroads in a row in succession and got the 1, 2, 3 count. And then probably the biggest spot of the night, or biggest shock of the night, I guess, is after the match, Brock got up and started walking away, but then turned back to Cody, and Cody looked at him like, "What's going on?" Brock got up into his face, like put his head onto his head, and then took his hand and put his hand out, and Cody shook it, and they smiled and hugged, and that was it. And Cody walked out. We found out afterwards that during the press conference, Triple H said that wasn't planned. Not that anything in wrestling, not that anything in wrestling is planned, but that wasn't planned. And yeah, that was like kind of like a little moment between Brock and Cody, and it was just Brock's way of saying, good job, kid, good luck in the future, I guess. So that was pretty cool. What'd you think, Delisha?
Oh yeah, I think this might have been the best of the 3 matches that they had. Although apparently Cody Rhodes is Superman and he can just take everything and get still kicked out. But it's fine. That is what your ultimate babyface is supposed to do, right? But I did enjoy the match overall, even though, as well noted here, I'm not the biggest Brock Lesnar fan. We still don't know why he kept attacking Cody. That was never explained. But I guess because you're Lesnar, you don't need an explanation. Yeah, and I like the everyone on the internet was like Brock is hugging people. That never happens.
I know.
I remember seeing someone said Taker's more likely to lose at WrestleMania than to see Brock hugging people. Yeah, so that was fun. I mean, it's the ultimate sign of respect, obviously, but that was just like, whoa, this is not what I'm used to seeing on my screen. But yeah, I think it was good. We can shelf this for a while. We don't need to see this again for a while. I am curious to see what's next for Cody.
Um,
I I think it's too soon to go back to stuff, and he's not going. I don't think he'll be going after Roman just yet. Um, or going back after Roman just yet. Yeah. So I don't
but
really
yeah,
know.
I'm honestly thinking about it. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't understand. I don't know what's gonna go on with it. I don't know. Actually, with me, I never know what brand anyone's on anyway. Not that it matters, I guess, because I don't think they've even like been following their brand thing anyway. But I have no idea what's. Oh, maybe Gunther. Or, yeah, maybe Gunther.
Yeah, I guess that could be something. I mean, Gunther is always saying that Matt is sacred, and Cody is from one of the most respected wrestling families out there, so that they could play off of that.
Wait.
I saw someone suggest a heel Drew going after Cody because they do. I didn't realize at some point they do kind of have the same like story as having trouble getting over backstage in their earlier career, kind of being humbled, so to speak, and then going off making a name for themselves elsewhere, and then coming back and being put in the main event. So they do have very similar stories.
Who is the U.S. champion?
Austin Theory on SmackDown.
So maybe that. Maybe because isn't like the U.S. championship like his dad's championship kind of thing. So maybe he makes the stepping stone and gets that first. I don't know.
I have no. I'm not really good with the wrestling history before like 1998. So.
I feel like it is, but
Not, or was it the IC title? Because wasn't he the one who brought it back to that was the white belt,
no, that
the
was like
white and gold belt?
the Miz did that.
But no, I'm saying wasn't that in like Dusty's era?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, but he might have had that, but I think before that he might have had the NWA. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm gonna Google it in a little bit after I get when I'm done. Actually, yeah, I'll Google it in a little bit and see which ones he owned. I'm sure he had the IC championship, but I thought the US championship had something to do with Dusty, but maybe not.
I know they still don't strictly honor the brand split, but they do play. I mean, they do tend to try to keep it separate outside of like premium live and stuff like that. So I don't think Cody will be going after Austin on SmackDown anytime soon. I do think they will strictly keep him to like Raw talent for now. Um, but yeah, him and Gunther could be something.
But I don't think the thing is
Um,
he'll get squashed by Gunther too because they don't want Gunther. I don't think Gunther's gonna lose until like 2047. So like I don't think it. You
no,
know.
that's true. But I mean, like, as it'll be a good few because they only have that like one interaction at the Rumble. Am I
Mhm.
correct with that? Yeah.
Possibly. What I want to see is like back in the day, like I don't know if you remember this, but WrestleMania 6, the Toronto Skydome, Warrior versus Hogan was champion versus champion WrestleMania. And we really haven't had many where it was like a mid card. Like we've had now that they have two belts, they have had champion versus champion in the sense of like, whatever that, I forgot, not, who knows what the name of the belts are called now, but like, the Raw belt versus SmackDown belt. But it's been a while since we've seen like, especially as the main event of WrestleMania, having it be the Intercontinental Championship or mid card title versus the main title. Like I kind of want to see that again since like it meant such a big deal to me in my lifetime with Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, and Hogan back then. That'd be really cool to see again. I think it might have happened with Daniel Bryan or something one time. But I mean, like what mattered, what meant something to me was the Warrior Hogan thing back in the day. So seeing that again, maybe if
Yeah.
Cody holds that IC title, or I mean, probably not the IC because it's Gunther, but the US Championship, and holds until WrestleMania, and then maybe gets a shot champion versus champion. Because now that there's 2 belts, he can not go for Roman's, but go for the other one. Oh, maybe I don't even know which belt is like which original belt. So I don't even know. So I'm so confused now. But that's what I'm saying. Like it should maybe he can be the mid card champion, bringing it against the world champion at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it can be something.
All right. Next match is the Battle Royal, which I don't know. Oh, okay, I think I know why they did it. I was gonna say I don't know why they had this match, but the next match was like I don't know, it's like 20 man or 30 man, who knows what it was. Where all the superstars start in the ring, and then whoever you got to be eliminated. You're eliminated when you're thrown over the top and both feet hit the ground. They did it because they want to have something for LA Knight to do. I'm assuming because he's the hottest superstar right now for WWE, from what I hear. But yeah, so basically all the wrestlers are in the ring. I think LA Knight comes to the ring to his music, and the battle royal's about to start. But then we hear I think MVP's voice, and he says, "Hey, you can't start yet. You got to wait for the winner of this year's battle royal to come out." And it was Omos making a return. I didn't know he was away, so that's something new for me. So Omos came back and he got into the ring. Omos basically did what you expect a big dude to do, is dominate and throw out, like, I don't know how many people eliminated, maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8. Eventually, like 10 people got together and threw out Omos, as we normally see in these type of battle royals. Eventually got down. There was not really any highlight moments. No like Kofi Kingston moments where like kind of saved. Not that I noticed anyway. There weren't any really Kofi moments where like they're just about to be eliminated, but then they hang on to like a pancake or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, the final 4 happened to be LA Knight, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, and AJ Styles. I think LA Knight eliminated Bronson Reed, and then Sheamus threw AJ Styles out because Karrion Kross grabbed AJ Styles to distract him. So I guess there's gonna be a feud there. And then it was basically Sheamus and LA Knight. They went to the top. I think LA Knight hit a superplex and then clotheslined Sheamus out of the ring, and your winner was LA Knight. And I guess that's I guess that's what people want to be like the something for LA Knight, because this apparently now, from what I read, this is what's going to start his momentum to become a top name and get some play and all that. So, your thoughts, Alicia?
I mean, it was fine. I don't know how this helps him, because it wasn't announced to do anything. It's not like it was like, hey, winner of this gets the next shot at the U.S. title or the IC title if a Raw Superstar one. But so it was kind of pointless. It was literally just to placate the fans, to put LA Knight on the show. But you kind of could have did that with just a promo or something like that. He could have actually been the host of SummerSlam or something like that. So I mean, I know we said this before. We get many people on the card and for a payday or whatever. But I don't know. I made me feel kind of salty because they didn't put Trish and Becky on the card, or Rhea, who is your other actual champion on in WWE, and is one of the hottest talents on the roster. Like people like love her. So because of time constraints, yeah, we had time for a full like almost like 30-40 minute battle royal that meant nothing. So maybe I was feeling a little salty about that. So I didn't really care about this match. I like LA Knight, but again, this did nothing for him.
Go on mute. Not from you, from them. I agree. They should have had like Becky and Trish. There's no need for this. LA Knight would have been hot no matter what, right? Like the fans are behind him. I think this did nothing for his gimmick or his push or anything like that. Like he was fine how he is, right? How he was prior to this. I think the Becky Trish match would have been so much more important for them to have it at SummerSlam, because, like we said, it's a second tier, as people think, of the Big Four. So, it's a shame. It's a real shame. I really wish they hadn't screwed them over like that. This battle royal did not need to happen. That time could have went to Becky and Trish.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or like I said, even if the battle royal was simply put like, hey, I mean, I know Well, it was kind of weird because they just had the U.S. title tournament that LA Knight didn't win for some reason. And then, so I guess it kind of would have been weird to be like retroactively be like, hey, this battle royal is for the next shot of the next shot of the U.S. title. So yeah, it is kind of, it's, I guess still meant nothing, but yeah, the way they've just been booking everything is just, I mean, this whole LA Knight situation has been pretty interesting, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens from there. I think it's just supposed to be on Raw tonight, but we'll see. The
What's
next,
that?
the Trish versus Becky, I think.
So that's it's next week in Winnipeg.
Oh, okay. The next match was an MMA rules match featuring Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, so this is probably the second quote unquote well, I guess no, third personal feud, or no, maybe it's fourth. I don't know. 'Cause, I guess no, Cody and Brock wasn't really personal because we don't even know why Brock attacked him. But yeah, it's like the third personal feud behind Jay Roman and Finn and Seth. Because it was Shayna like being set up of being second string to Ronda when she's like, I'm the reason even why Ronda is even here because of me. Which I mean, I feel like all her promos leading up to this match was really good. They did a really good package with that. It kind of reminded us of Shayna of NXT Shayna kind of coming back to the forefront. But yeah, but this was a MMA rules match, which was going to be won by knockout or submission. And Jen kind of had the uh, upper hand like early on in the match, trying to do like put her early in different submissions, including like a free to clutch. But Ronda always found a counter to it, and then they would start trading strikes. Um, and then I don't recall like what happened, but like Shayna got I think kicked by Ronda, and she was like in the corner, I guess acting like dazed or feigning injury, um, and then acting like she was gonna have to like not fight anymore, and then they just went and had like a bunch of like striking punches in the middle of the ring, and then she finally got her into the computer clutch, and then Ronda just like went to sleep, and then the match was over. I'm gonna be completely honest. As much I was with the crowd, this match had nothing going for it. The crowd was dead. I was dead. It was a snooze fest. And I don't know. I guess I mean, I know it's still rumor. There's no actual um proof that's saying that Ronda's done, but that's the rumor mill that Ronda's done. And I would think if it was me, I would want to go out with a bang, but apparently not. Because still Ronda is like no selling all these moves. Cause yeah, cause after she, um slept out. I don't know, cause she didn't tap out. But like so like Shayna is going towards the back and the camera pans back to the ring. She's already standing up like 30 seconds later. So it's like you truly just no sold this whole like pass out, and like the match was just dumb because like I know I know Triple H, he's a UFC fan, and these two are like MMA fighters, but this is still WWE where it's choreographed fighting, and you can't, or I guess technically movie wise you can choreograph fights, but like trying to choreograph an MMA fight in front of like a live crowd. It's just I feel like it just doesn't work, or at least in WWE it has like never worked. It never comes off as authentic. I was speaking to another friend and we were like, they instead of just strictly saying this is an MMA fight, just make it a because I think in the beginning the ref said it was like unsanctioned. This is not sanctioned by WWE, so just make it an unsanctioned match and just do y'all like normal um MMA stuff, but still being wrestling, so to speak. Or what I was saying is they could have not need to do this on SummerSlam. They literally ended switching one of the women's matches that they cut that was actually probably would have been much better than what we got, and have them because you didn't want too many like gimmick stuff on one card, either at Payback or on Raw. Bring back the fight pit. Like that type of match would have been like perfect for the stipulation because it's usually it because I think those are technically unsanctioned too. So it's like I feel like it would fit the feud because also this I don't watch UFC or what is it, Bellator? That's the other one. Is that if that's even still around? Because are all MMA fights in a cage?
Yeah, I mean, like there Pride used to be inside a ring, like kind of like a wrestling ring, but I think it had 4 ropes instead of 3. Uh, but like most of it is in like a cage type of thing.
Okay,
Yes.
you need a cage to report this MMA fight. So that's I was like, yeah, they could have did this like on Raw, or they could have had the like almost like a precursor. I don't again if Ron is leaving, we don't know when. Like they could have had the fight pit on like Raw, and then Shayna win like nefariously, and then Ronda kind of gets another chance either at Payback or at Survivor Series, which is your other big pay per view. But I don't know. It was just all wrong. I still think Shayna winning was right. I mean, she is the one who needs to be put over, but I was just I spent more time talking about this match than this how this
Yeah.
match even really deserved. But I hated it.
It was
Mhm.
terrible. It was terrible. I have nothing to say about this. It was terrible. The crowd. I was telling Raj like the crowd is so dead this entire time. Nothing's happening. Like, nothing is literally happening. It's so bad.
And I honestly think that is Ronda's fault because they didn't have chemistry. Um, 'Cause she doesn't sell.
I don't think that there's any way to sell this match. It was awful. Shin does much better than everyone else. The time that she succeeded or excelled in that elimination chamber match was like her highlight. That was great. And I'm not talking about NXT days. I'm talking about the main roster days. Like that was great. Like I don't think she's done anything since really. I know she's won the tag team championships and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like nothing's of note. Like nothing. Her brightest moment, I think, in WWE time, despite her
Yeah,
winning championships, is,
and
is that
they screwed it up by having her lose to Becky at WrestleMania. But that's and she never recovered from that. But that's not. I don't think that was on her. That was on the booking.
right. All right, let's go to the next. We spent way too much time on that. This is a better match. For the Intercontinental Championship, featuring the Intercontinental Champion Gunther against Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how I can like even recap this match because as like we all just like the like jokingly say like um big meaty men slapping meat. I mean, I guess yeah, I guess you still put Gunther in that in the big boy category, right? But, yeah, and I feel like if you saw the match he had with Sheamus, or you saw the match he had with Sheamus and Drew Mania, you got another version of that, just them being one on one. Literally just two powerhouses, two horses, as they say, just going at it, and their physicality and their strikes, and so many chops to the chest. I don't know how they both survived without like a permanent handprint on their chest. But you know, they hit all the big moves, their claymores, and I think oh yeah, and Walter even going up to the top rope, he does to do the big splash. And literally the only way he could retain his title was by like power bombing Drew like 3 times in a row in order to get the win. Like I said, it was just like two like big powerhouse matches. I mean, two powerhouse guys going at it, and it really got the crowd back into the zone after the snooze fest of Ronda and Shayna. But I actually really did enjoy the match. Gunther's just killing it. He's really like a wrestler's wrestler. Like you could put him in any wrestling decade and he will fit in perfectly. And he's already making himself like a living legend right now, or in future Hall of Famer type of deal as if he's long as he stays healthy and everything like that. Because I can definitely see this man sometime down the road winning one of those main titles. I mean, he might even take it off Steph. I don't think that's happening yet, but because there are rumors of a Brock Lesnar versus Gunter match, and even though I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar, I would be very interested in that match just to see like how Brock navigates being in the ring with Gunther. That would be really cool to see. Um Again, like I was saying with Cody, I'm kind of curious of like what does Drew do next? Is he, he had that hiatus after WrestleMania, and then he came back, and then kind of like I think this is his first pay per view, and like he loses. I mean, it's kind of those wins and defeat type of deals because he's had such a great showing. But it's Drew; he's not really going to give you a bad match. But it is curious because he wants to be, a top guy again, and it'd be really interesting to see how they handle that. Because he was the go-to guy, but it was during the uh Thunderdome era, so he never really got his live crowd moment to win a big championship. So I don't know. I just don't know if that was his peak, so to speak, or if they will entrust him with that again.
Yeah, so for me, I think I like your idea of Drew versus Cody. I think maybe he'll be so frustrated after losing this, he can become a heel, and like he's like they have a commonality, right? Where Drew was the chosen one, and he left. He didn't cut it, so he left, came back and made a name again, and got back, and now he's obviously became WWE champion. So that's something they can work off because Cody left, right? Made a name for himself again, came back. Very similar story, right? So what they can do is Drew can be like, listen, man, you're trying to do what I did, and you're never gonna be successful, and that's how they can start their feud. That's a great way, because they're around the same time, both the WWE, and then they left. And they didn't leave at the same time, but you know what I mean. They both left eventually. I think that's a good story to tell, and that would be really cool to see. On Gunther's side, though, I think I could echo what I just said about Cody too, where I said Cody would be cool to see as maybe the U.S. champion because I don't see him beating Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship and going to fight either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns for a title versus title at WrestleMania. This could be the same thing for Gunther. Gunther can hold on to the IC Championship, then go and fight, like you said, Seth Rollins or probably not Roman Reigns, but Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for title versus title and winning. Because I told you, I don't know if I told you this, but I told like Raj and everyone else this. Like I said, like I think Gunther's gonna be like the next Undertaker, not like legacy. Like when you think like Undertaker, besides before Hulk Hogan, after Hulk Hogan, Undertaker is synonymous with WWE, WWF, right? He's like that loyal guy that's been there pretty much the entire time of his career, almost the entire time of his career. I think Gunther can. I think Gunther can be that guy for. Oh, what's going on? I think someone. Um, I think hold on. I think Gunther can be that type of guy, like undefeated at WrestleMania, like forever. And welcome, Will. How are you doing? Welcome, Shug. Welcome all. Thank you guys for joining. I think Gunther could be like the next Undertaker, like undefeated at WrestleMania, and just be that successful and all that kind of stuff. So that would be really cool to see him title versus title, IC title versus maybe whatever Rollins title is called. Who knows? I forget. But yeah, that'd be cool. Both of them, like I think Drew goes on to fight Cody in this storyline that I wrote, and we all know that WWE watches the show. So if they take it, they're gonna change it a little bit. They're gonna change it a little bit because they can't copy me exactly. But that's what's gonna happen. But I really enjoy this match. This match was fantastic. Like I said, I don't think Gunther's have a bad match that I've watched. I want to put him against Ronda Rousey, maybe see what happens. Can make a good match out of that. Put him against Omos. Just to mess up his rhythm a little bit, see what happens. But I don't think I've ever seen him have a bad match when I've watched him. So this is probably one of the better matches. I like a lot of these matches hit very well. It sucks that there's the low. I think the low came once we hit the Battle Royale, and then the Ronda Shayna match. And then this brought it back up. So that was cool to see. I thought this was a very good match. I enjoyed it. And both their futures are bright, I think. More so for Gunther, but I think if Drew could be written right to not be in the main event picture, but help like other people along, like Cody, I think that's gonna how it should go. All right. Next match was for the whatever championship this is called, the World Championship. I think it's called the World Championship. I'm just gonna make that up. I'm just gonna call it the World Championship, featuring the World Champion Seth Rollins against Finn Balor, not Demon Finn Balor, but regular Finn Balor.
Yeah, I do apologize if you start hearing stuff in the background. It is the start of a very thunderstorm over here. Like there's like this one big tree out back and it's like swaying as if it's like a branch, and I'm like, oh dear lord. But yeah, so this was the other personal match I was talking about earlier, to where 7 years ago at SummerSlam, it was Finn versus Steph for the Universal Championship, which Finn did win and became the first Universal Champion. But if you didn't know, Steph injured Finn's arm or shoulder, and he would have to relinquish it the next night on Raw. And as he said, that has graded him for the rest of the year because he's never really reached that peak again for the top title on the brand. And so to commemorate that, he wrote the word 7 on his previous injured shoulder to say, and he was always saying it was like his 7-year itch. On the other side, dressed as Lord Farquaad, as I was saying when he came out in that robe with stuff, but underneath it, he was wearing the same vest that he wore at that SummerSlam match. So both of them were playing like mental gymnastics with each other. Seth a little bit more so. I feel like for Finn it was just more of a reminder for like almost like game paint. But yeah, for the most part, this was more like one of those like marathon matches where these two were just kind of just showing you why they were the top guys. Seth has always been like a top guy since the Shield, but you also get a reminder of why Finn was chosen at that time to carry the Universal title. We got another Superman though, as Balor literally gave him every single move plus Steph's moves onto him, and then Steph would just kick out. So it was just like, oh, okay. But I mean, I think it will even at one point where I think I don't know if you hear that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was no thunder. It literally like shook my window. Um, where Finn like missed a coup de grace, and I think Steph got like a I forget what he did,
Oh
but
wait,
like and then
sorry to interrupt. Just real quick, I looked it up. I didn't see Dusty Rhodes having any major title in the WCW or WWE. So
wait, say that again.
Dusty Rhodes did not have any major title in WCW or WWE, but I'm sure he had an NWA, which might have converted to the legacy of the U.S. Championship. That's what I think it is.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
maybe Will or Shug can confirm that in the chat. Sorry about
Got
that. Go ahead.
No problem, no problem. But I would say some of the big spots from this match was Finn bringing it back and giving Seth the buckle bomb onto the barricade. It didn't injure Seth, so that would have been way too much poetic justice. And I think he actually tried to give Rollins a stomp, or he did give him a stomp and he kicked out. And then, but you had Seth also doing like he was like doing the sling blade, and I think he even gave him a coup de grace, which all but Finn kicked out of. But if you thought we were not going to get the Judgment Day, you were sorely mistaken. As Damien walked down from the ramp with the briefcase, he tried to give it to Finn. The Finn said no. They were like, we're sticking with Plan A, which I guess was him just doing it alone. But Rhea and Dom were not far behind. They tried to distract the ref to where Finn finally was like, all right, fine, and tried to go for the briefcase. But it was a perfectly timed stomp from Seth Rollins onto the briefcase to get to 1, 2, 3 and retain the championship. Much to the chagrin of Damian Priest, which was the meme of the night, I guess. With his deadpan stare as Steph like looked at him with that smirk on his face. So unfortunately, Seth was not able to get the championship that he so desired. And while I really enjoyed this match, and like I said again, it was really just like showcase why Finn is considered or should be considered a top guy. I think the booking was wrong. I think they should have let Finn win. Not because I love Finn and I think he deserved it, but also from a story standpoint, um, like everyone in well, I guess you can look at it two ways. Like everyone in Judgment Day is carrying something. Dom is the NXT North American champion. Rhea's the world whatever. Again, like I said, whatever they're calling that belt with Damian being a briefcase winner. So I guess that could be another dissension is that Finn doesn't have anything, but also I feel like Judgment Day is also serving someone except Finn. Like again, well Rhea would have been fine without Judgment Day, but like Dom is the best he's ever been so far. Damien's been showcased of why he was brought up to the main roster in the first place, and then Finn is just there. And I feel like this also could have spread more if they like going the dissension route. If Finn had won, like the man who could take a title was literally standing right next to him in his stable. I just thought it was funny. Someone was like, Damon can really go off it if Finn had won. He could have gone after any one of their titles. Honestly, it could have been him, Rhea, or.
That is true.
But I honestly think, especially since Judgment Day is supposed to be like your other top faction outside of the Bloodline on Raw, and they are really just now hitting their stride of getting getting the faction over with the crowd, to where people either they're cheering everyone, which is on purpose. The audience just understands the assignment that we're just gonna boo Dom. I don't think it's really because they don't like Dom. But they're really getting their faction over, and for them to not hold all the gold, but like hold gold and a briefcase, really would have like solidified them as being the top faction for Raw, the big draw for Raw, no rhyme intended, and like just to solidify just them being over, and in partway through that match, the fans were cheering for Finn to win. So I don't know. I just think that it might have been the wrong call. But what do you think? Do you think they should have let Finn win, or was this right to keep him not holding a belt to further divide Judgment Day?
I hope it's not like a whole evolution thing where like Damian Priest wins and then Judgment Day turns on him. We've kind of seen that before. I think that, like you said, I like that you said Judgment Day is hitting their stride now because that's completely correct. We were like when they first became a thing after after Edge, all they did was keep losing. We're like, what the hell is the point of Judgment Day? It's so stupid. But now it's pretty cool. I like seeing them together. It's as much as we hate Dominic, or at least I hate Dominic. It's cool that he's like the North American champion or something from NXT. Rhea's whatever champion she is, because I don't know the names of the championships anymore. And then Money in the Bank is obviously Damian Priest. It would have been cool if Seth. It would have been cool if Finn Balor won. I really want to see that because I'm tired of Seth Rollins. I really am. Seeing Finn Balor champion would be cool because they would have had like a Money in the Bank. They would have had a North American championship. They had whatever championship Rhea Ripley has, and then he would have been whatever champion this is. Probably the world, like I said, the world heavyweight champion. So I think that would be really cool. I really want to see. Obviously, they always put on. Like, there's no even the match is gonna be amazing. We knew that. To make it, yeah. Seth doesn't need a belt, like you just said. Seth does not need a belt. He is like his own character. I think the Judgment Day having them thing as themselves together, that would have made like having all of them have the belts, much like the Bloodline did pretty much at one point. That would have been a really good thing for them, and they could have been going back in between brands and like just being like, look, NXT, we look at how strong we are, look how strong we are on the main roster. All that kind of stuff would have been amazing. That's what I would love to have seen. But maybe it is going to start some dissension. I think it obviously is going to start some dissension on Raw tonight or whatever brand they're on. And eventually, we'll see Finn Balor win again because he deserves it. And who knows what's going to happen with Damian Priest? Because he is missing the Money in the Bank at the moment. We'll see. All right, the next match is for whatever this belt is called, the WWE Women's Champion, I guess. I'm just going to say that's what it's called. Featuring the WWE Women's Champion, Asuka, against Bianca Belair, against Charlotte Flair, in a triple threat match.
Yeah, so this one, I want to say I don't know if excitement was the word I would use for this match. It was more intrigue on how it would play out. I guess I also should have saw the writing on the wall when your champion came out second, because Bianca was in the C4 colors, which is they sponsored or they were one of the sponsors of the show. It was weird. But honestly, this one, before we get to the ending, it was I kind of buy the book's triple threat match where all three of them are going to circle each other, fill each other out. in the beginning, and then someone's gonna get kicked out of the ring so the other two can focus on each other. And I think it kind of was almost just like a highlight reel of what they all can do. Bianca showing the strength, Charlotte being Charlotte, and then Asuka coming in with the hard hitting strikes. Um, I guess there really wasn't like a big like spot, so to speak, of the match, except for I think it was Charlotte who threw Bianca outside of the ring, and she had, injured her knee earlier in the match, and she hit it on the outside of the ring, or that's what we were told. I didn't see the actual angle. I don't know if she actually hit her knee. Um, and then so she was being helped out ringside by the medical staff, quote unquote. But because of the champ or the baby face that she is, while Charlotte had Asuka in the I guess figure eight by this point. She crawled back to the ring and climbed up to the top rope and was it a 450?
Yes.
Splash onto Charlotte and to break that up. And then they would battle it against some more. I think Bianca tried for a KOD, but then Charlotte got her into the figure eight. And then she would then be misted by Asuka, which I think that was a good spot. And then while they were still tangled up in I guess in the leg, so to speak, Bianca was able to get a hold of Asuka for a roll up to become to get a championship back, I guess you can say. And the fans were just like, oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. And then Miss Money in the Bank's music would hit. That is Io Sky. And she would go in to cash in on a prone, or I guess you could say injured Bianca. I can't quite recall if it got live, if it got caught on camera, because I saw people not realizing that on Twitter, that Bailey hit Bianca with the briefcase before the ref like rang the bell for it to begin, and then Io would do her moonsault, best moonsault in the game, and to order to win the briefcase. People were just asking. I mean, I saw people questioning why Bianca was just laying in the middle of the ring. I guess they missed that she got hit with the briefcase. So Io is your new women's champion. They need to do a better way of like getting us to know which belt is what. Um, and it's a big celebration in the ring, like, and she was, legit treated like a baby face, honestly. Even though prior to that, they were, I mean, I guess literally the week before they were like feuding with Shotzi because of the cut hair. Anyway, so so yeah, Io is our new champion. Overall, the match was fine. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something was missing. And I don't know what it was. There was something that was like not clicking. That I was just like, oh, this is a great match because all three of them are really great performers. So, and like I said, they're not gonna put on a bad match because just of who they are. And the match itself wasn't bad. I just felt like something was missing. Or it also could have been build up or disappointment with Asuka's reign. Ever since she lost, oh, damn, to Charlotte for her undefeated streak, she's kind of never had. I guess outside the tag team belts, maybe she's never had a long title reign since then, and I just kind of feel bad for her that she doesn't get to be pushed like the top star, say for the Charlotte, Bianca, Becky's, and whoever's. But I do think this will lead to a match between Asuka and maybe Asuka and Io at Payback, maybe. Which should be a banger because those two will really go at it. But I don't know. Overall, did you enjoy the match? Did you enjoy the finish, or was it longer to you? And do you like Io's caption?
So I did like the 450 that Bianca hit when she came back from her injury.
Can we do a small gargle about that? I think you even said it before in like a different instance. If you injured your leg and then your opponent has your other opponent in a submission move, why would you take 3,000 years to climb to the top?
Right.
I mean, it's a cool spot.
Right.
Why would you climb to the top rope when literally could have tapped out in those few seconds. Like that was just like a small break. I was just like, in theory, in like real life, you would not think, oh, let me get to the
Right.
top rope and just to break this. So that was just like,
Yeah.
I was just thinking that as though,
Especially if you're injured and they're in a finishing move. Yes.
yeah,
Or
you just got knocked
a
out and
submission.
then
Yeah.
you just did that. So
Yeah.
that was fine. But it was like, wait, you just really just tried to tell us that your knee was hurting.
But
Why would you? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
in person, I was saying when I was telling Raj that that was a very, very crazy 450 because look at the arch that Charlotte had, right? So she was up high. She's at least off like 2 feet off the ground, maybe 2.5, 3 feet off the ground with her arch, right? So Bianca had 2 to 3 feet less to complete all the revolutions of her 450 before hitting Charlotte. So that was one of the most athletic, best things I've seen coming out of her or anyone, basically. You know, I always talk about how, you know, there's a lot of botches when these women's matches, there's more than 2 of them in the ring, but that was so well done. Like, I have to, like, give props to that. That was amazing done. You know, so that was very well done. The match was all right. I figured Charlotte would win because, you know, she always wins. But it was nice to see Bianca win, if for that little bit of time. But if I had to put it on the next picture, we have Io, like you said, Io cashed in and won the championship, whatever it's called. With Io cashing in, I love seeing Dakota Kai come back. I love Dakota Kai, so that was a pretty cool moment. But I did see. I think she also hit and I saw that brief. I think Bianca hit. I'm sorry. I think Bayley hit Bianca in the head with the briefcase. I think, and then that's when Io hit Belair in the knee with the briefcase, causing her to go down. But yeah, it was cool. The cash in is cool. I don't know why they're pushing Io so fast. I was never really that. I'm more of a Dakota Kai person. If we're talking about, I have no idea what the damage control. But I guess I heard, like I said, the thing about Kairi Sane coming back. I was more of a Kairi Sane fan than Asuka or Io. So I love to see Kairi come back and do stuff. But okay, like I don't know much about Io, so I guess we'll see. I guess how it's gonna affect damage control. I mean, it seems like all factions have all belts, right? Like whether it be, you know, the Bloodline or Damage Control, Judgment Day, Imperium, you know. Seems like they all have belts. There's a few outliers like Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, but it's kind of funny that a lot of them have all the belts.
Yeah, Triple H likes his factions.
Yep. So I mean, well, I guess we'll see. I don't really have anything to say about Io Sky yet. We'll see how she goes and how things go for her. But it was a good match.
She does have the best moonsault in the game.
Better than Charlotte's?
I think everyone's moonsault is better than Charlotte's. Which she missed again, by the way, in that match. But you know, at this point, it's academic at this point.
All right. The main event of the evening was a tribal rules match, which I guess just means no DQ, no count out, between the whatever they call this championship now. I think it's like the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, against Jey Uso. Now, the cool thing is that if whoever wins this match gets the rights to becoming the tribal chief, so whatever that thing was called, I think I have it written down here. Hold on, give me a second. I have it written down. It's called the Ula Fala. Apologies for the pronunciation. That's the little red beaded necklace that Roman Reigns wins that signify the tribal chief. Whoever wins gets that and also becomes champion, right? So before the match, Roman Reigns said the referee wanted that Ula Falau from Paul Heyman because, you know, Roman usually gives it to Paul Heyman, and then Paul Heyman puts it onto him after the match after he wins because he's never lost in like the longest time except for the Money in the Bank time, but or whatever that was when he last lost. But Roman said, no, I'm holding on to it and I'll put it on Jey if I lose. So he said that. Cute moment before that on TikTok or whatever it was. I sent it to you guys in a wrestling chat. Jey asked who's going to win this match to his little son. And his son goes, I think Uncle Joe's going to win again, meaning Roman's going to win again because he's beating your ass like the last few times. And then, like, it was just so funny hearing that. But it was cute. Anyway, basically, Roman Reigns dominated the beginning part of the match using his overwhelming power and saying, like, you know, using his slow, methodical approach that he usually uses. Also talking to Jey a lot, saying, like, you know, you had everything. Why did you step away? Why did you leave? This is your fault. This is all happening. Kind of a lot what he said to, like, kind of like a lot of things he said to Sami Zayn when Roman Reigns fought Sami Zayn. Kind of like mimicking a lot of that. And we saw how much of Sami Zayn affected Jey Uso's character and Jey Uso affected Sami Zayn's character. So it's kind of like kind of like a mirror image that we see here again. Eventually, I think Roman Reigns got a tribal stick, a kendo stick, and started beating up Jay early as well. Once they got to the outside, Jay did turn things around and set up a table because the crowd was calling for tables, but nothing happened with that table as of yet. Finally, Jay was starting to turn things around, started hitting chair shots on Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman was like asking him, please stop, please stop, please stop. But Jay didn't just stop. He went and got like 47 more chairs from underneath the ring and threw them into the ring. But eventually Roman Reigns was able to take back control because he powerbombed Jay into all those steel chairs that Jay had put into the thing. And then they went back to the outside, and Roman, I think, went to go spear him on the outside, but Jay countered that into the Samoan drop onto that table that he had originally set up. And then somehow, I don't know where the leather strap came from, but Jay grabbed the leather strap and started whipping Roman Reigns. Eventually, it stopped because what's his face came out. Solo Sikoa came out and did apparently the move's called a spinning solo onto Jay through another table. And I think I think this was on the outside of the ring also. This is like in the audience, and this happened. And they dragged Jay back into the ring. And then they went Roman and Solo went for their really cool move combo where like Solo holds their opponent to do the Samoan spike, and Roman goes for the spear. They're about to do that. As Solo was going for the spike and Roman was going for the spear, Jay pulled Solo in front of Roman, and Roman speared Solo. So that kind of pissed him. Well, he knocked him out for the moment. Then they brought it back to the outside, and Roman was like kind of leaning against the barricade, and Jay was like, I think, was he beating up? No. Jay was beating up Roman on the barricade, and Solo got back up after the spear and hit Jay down. And then he looked at Roman like, "Why did you spear me?" Like, and they started like maybe a new feud between Solo and Jay. And as they're talking, Roman standing up, and Jay comes and spears Roman through the barricade on the outside, and then he starts fighting his brother, Solo, puts him onto the announcer table, gets on the ring barricade behind the announcer table. The barricade behind the announcer table, jumps over the announcers through the announcer table and put Solo through that. They get back into, then Roman and Jay get back into the ring. They start fighting a little bit more. Roman, I think, misses a spear and gets super kicked onto the ground. Jay gets to the top, hits that Uso splash from the top, goes for the pin, where his legs are kind of like near the outside of the ring. He goes 1, 2, and then someone in a hood pulls Jay off of Roman, and he gets, I don't know if he gets kicked first or not, but the matchmaker unveils himself to be Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy and Jay stare at each other, and then Jimmy hits Jay with a super kick, rolls Jay back into the ring against this leaning table. Jay's against the leaning table. Roman spears Jay through the leaning table in the corner, gets the pin, and remains your undisputed WWE Universal Champion after the betrayal and all that. So, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. I mean, as much as of Roman's past matches, it did seem to start off slow and then pick up steam in the middle. Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a really great match. I think it really also showcased why Jay could be a top guy. I don't know how I feel about the finish though. Because I mean, I'll have to wait for his promo, I guess, on Friday as for his explanation. But like, this literally goes against everything Jimmy has said and done these last few weeks. For with Jay. So I don't know. That's where I am. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I didn't think Jay was gonna win. I mean, I did leave myself a string of possibilities that he could, but I didn't think that he would. Yeah, and again on Twitter, someone was like, Jay really got no friends because no one came to help him. Not his, not anyone from the family, not even Sammy, who's not doing anything right now. It's like, like, hey, he really got no one. So yeah. But yeah, overall, again, I would need to hear Jimmy's explanation in order to, I guess, retroactively help how I feel about this finish. Um, but also more and more, I am starting to feel that Cody should have just won the belt at Mania because um, it would have helped Roman's descent into madness. And then they could have just been fighting. They could everything else could have still happened even without Roman having the belt. But we're past that point, so there's no point in looking backwards. But yeah,
Yeah, here I think we really need to see where the story's going because why is Jimmy helping Roman again? If he was kicked out, right? Maybe this is the way he wants to get.
well,
This is how he wants to get back in. This is his way to get back in. You know.
but if you notice, after he did it, he just left. I mean, he went
Uh,
back up the rip. He wasn't like standing with Roman and Solo. So this really could just be a well, no pun intended, a solo attack to where it's just I have a feud with my brother, not with I don't care still about being in the bloodline.
but why?
So to
I'm
speak.
not. I
No, that's
maybe I missed something on SmackDown. Like why didn't
no. That's what I'm saying. That's because he didn't stand with them. Is how I'm interpreting it. That's just my interpretation.
didn't he say didn't he do the whole thing where it's like you're out and they goes but I'm out too and then they super kicked them together.
No, that was Jay.
Yeah no Jay said to Jimmy you're out right and then he goes I'm out too or was it the other way around?
Yeah, but that was because Roman had said Jimmy didn't want Jay to be the tribal chief or something. Oh, it was something like that or something
No
like
yeah
that.
no but then if they got out together why is Jimmy attacking Jay? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
Not,
that's why I said I until I hear his explanation and if it's believable, will retroactively help me discern how I feel about this finish.
Mhm.
Because right now it doesn't make sense.
Yeah so I guess we're left with questions but the match other than that was good. We're left with questions as to why this happened. So let's see where the story goes officially for that. All right, that brings us to the finishes for the evening. Our low point, our high point, our overall grade. Alicia, what do you think?
Um, I mean, no surprise. The low point had to be that Shayna Ronda match because that was just abysmal. Um, and high point, I think I'm gonna give it to Gunther and actually no, I changed my mind. I'm gonna give it to Finn and Steph, even though I do think the they could have that Finn should have won. The match itself was a banger. Sorry, Sheamus, to steal your catchphrase. It was great, and I think it really did remind the fans of why Finn is, should, and can be a top guy. Overall, I think I've been struggling with this literally all day on what to give this, but I think all but one, all but two of the matches delivered in their match in like their in wrestling in their matches. So I think I'm gonna land it at a solid B minus. I think that's what I'm gonna land on because overall out. Well, even the battle royal had some fun spots, but outside of Shayna versus Ronda, because I will never visit that match again unless you make me for like this show or something. Um, I can't find a positive thing about the match except for that it was over. Um, but yeah, overall, the I think the match is delivered.
Okay, so for me, this is kind of weird because usually you grade a lot higher than me. Than I like, I don't know, even when they're bad pay per views, you grade a lot higher than me. But I think, and usually we've been on agreeing for like I don't know how many months in a row or how many pay per views in a row, low points and high points. So my low point, I agree with you. Shayna, Ronda, I couldn't even talk about it earlier today. That's how bad it was. My high point though, I wanted to give it to um, Roman and Jay, but I didn't like the ending. Right, with the whole Jimmy thing, makes no sense to me. I would have gave it to Seth and Finn, but like the ending was kind of like, yeah, you know. Um, so I don't like how they like the distraction of the referee, the briefcase, and all. It's all like a little sloppy for me. So that I would have given it to Logan and Ricochet, but I want to see more like high flying crazy stuff from them. So I'm gonna give it to Gunther and Drew. Because like I said, I haven't seen a bad Gunther match like ever, in my opinion, or my memory, I should say, and opinion. But my overall grade, I'm gonna give it an A minus. Probably my highest grade of this season so far. It was done very well. I thought it was everything was done well except for obviously the the Shayna Ronda match and the battle royal was kind of like blah, but for all those LA Knight fans there, it was good for them. But some of those, it could have been an A plus. I think it was a solid A plus except for the Ronda Rousey Shayna match. That brought down to like an A, and then all those like weird finishes I didn't like, so that brought down to an A minus. So I'm gonna give it an A minus. Otherwise, it's a solid pay per view overall, and that's what you should expect from one of the big four. So we gotta see if they carry that momentum to Survivor Series. But before that, we're gonna have another pay per view, and that's the next time I see us. But before we talk about where we're gonna see us, Felicia, what have you been up to, and what do you got going on?
Yeah, I had a few weeks off of my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Felicia Running TV. Mainly due to like an ankle injury, I'm not able to stand for long periods of time. But there's a video going up tomorrow if you want to check that out, where I just do it's more of a lifestyle channel, especially journaling my way through first time parenthood. And I just do like different recipe videos as well if you like to cook and things like that. So come check me out.
Which ankle did you hurt?
My left ankle. And nothing cool, like I was put like an ankle lock or something, but no, I just coming out of the house, it like bended one way and hasn't really been the same.
The reason why I asked that is because I have injured my right ankle, so we're like a tag team. Your left ankle, my right. Because I was playing basketball at my cousin's barbecue on Friday, and I cannot find my basketball sneakers, which are high tops. They go over my ankles, right? So I'm using running shoes on them, so like I don't have the ankle support when I'm playing basketball. So like I hurt my ankle, but I gotta find my basketball shoes. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in the house, but I gotta go ahead and find them. But yeah, so it's fine that you hurt your left ankle. I hurt my right ankle. Perfect tag team in the making. But yeah, you can find all delicious information below, as well as a link to her new YouTube channel. Not new YouTube channel, kind of like the newer YouTube channel of the two. But make sure you check her out there and support her there. As for me, the next time, I don't think I have any games coming out or wishes that I'm going to make on Genshin for a while. I might do 4.1 for... So right now, Genshin's going to have the 4.0 version update with some new banners coming out in like a week and a half. I probably won't be doing that because I'm not wishing on that, but when it comes to the 4.1 banner in like maybe a month from now, I will be probably wishing on that banner. I'll probably do a live stream for that, but you'll probably see me see both of us before then for Payback. Payback is on September 2nd, so you shall see us on September 4th for AfterMat. So until then, guys, keep slamming the haters and be the champion of your dreams. We'll see you next time. Later.
Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. turns to sun rays, and